sport with Kerevan Gorgistani, and a moment's silence to reflect on the fact there are no more French players in the French Open at Roland Garros.
That's it. It's over for the French.
It's over for the French.
There were two French players at the start of the day, and the first one to be knocked out was Benoit Paire. His match had been suspended the night before on Sunday by nightfall, and with his opponent Kei Nishikori leading 2-1. The fourth set was a hard-fought battle. The Frenchman saved 2 match points in the tiebreaker before forcing a decider. He then served for the match at 5-3 in the final set, but his mistakes caught up with him. Paire hitting 15 double faults and 79 unforced errors. Nishikori eventually winning the match 6-2, 6-7, 6-2, 6-7, 7-5. His 8th consecutive 5-set victory, setting up a quarterfinal clash against the defending champion, Rafael Nadal. For Benoit Paire, though, coming so close to a spot in the last 8 and losing was a huge disappointment.
For sure, it's not easy for me. It's the first time I'm last 16 in Roland Garros. I can make a quarterfinal. I can beat Nishikori, who is a very good player, so it was tough emotionally. And yeah, for sure, I'm very sad to lose this match, but glad for what I did this week.
And with Benoit Paire out of the tournament, Gaël Monfils was the last Frenchman standing, but that did not last very long as he was easily beaten by Dominic Thiem 6-4, 6-4, 6-2. Meanwhile, the world number 1, Novak Djokovic, had a very easy time against 45th ranked Jan-Lennard Struff of Germany, becoming the first man to reach the French Open quarterfinals 10 years in a row with a 6-3, 6-2, 6-2 victory. His quarterfinal opponent will be the world number 5 Alexander Zverev, who recovered from a set down to eventually beat the Italian Fabio Fognini. Juan Martín del Potro currently facing Karen Khachanov for the last spot in the quarters. Meanwhile, in the women's draw, the 8th-seeded Ashley Barty beat Sofia Kenin 6-3, 3-6, 6-love in the next round. She'll be facing 14th-seeded Madison Keys, who beat Katerina Siniakova 6-2, 6-4. The defending champion, Simona Halep, wasting little time on the court, thrashing Iga Swiatek 6-1, 6-love. Moving on to some basketball action with the NBA Finals. After their defeat in Game 1, everyone was waiting to see whether the defending champions Golden State would be able to bounce back, and at first the answer was no. The Toronto Raptors leading by as many as 12 points in the first half, but then by halftime, the Warriors had cut their deficit down to just 5. Golden State scored the first 18 points of the third quarter to eventually enter the final quarter ahead by 8. Toronto fought back, and Danny Green's three-pointer cut the Warriors' lead to just 2 with 26 seconds left. But Andre Iguodala nailed a three-pointer of his own with 6 seconds left on the clock to complete the scoring, as the Warriors wanted 109-104 to even the finals at 1 game apiece. There was some bad news, though, for the Warriors, who came out with 2 injuries. Klay Thompson has a thigh injury, and Kevin Looney is with a chest contusion. The next 2 games, though, will be playing at home for Golden State in Auckland. And we finish with some football. 4 days to go before the Women's World Cup kicks off here in Paris. Les Bleus are hard at work preparing for their opening game. They played their final warm-up friendly on Friday, beating China 2-1. While Eugénie Le Sommer and Amel Majri have now returned to training after missing that game, the captain, Amandine Henry, is still hurt, and Griej Mbokbati picked up an injury during that friendly. And this Monday, those last 2 players were seen training separately from the rest of the squad, but Les Bleus are not concerned about their possible absence for the opener.
Some of these players were missing from the starting lineup for that China match, but the players who replaced them stepped up and gave it their all. We have a competitive group capable of playing every game, so if one player is missing, another one's there to replace her. That's not an issue.
Now, of course, that opening game for Les Bleus will be the start of the World Cup, June 7th, this Friday at the Parc des Princes at 9 p.m.
And let's hope home advantage
And it will
wins
be
through.
against South Korea. Sorry, I forgot to say
Fantastic.
who was playing.
And you'll be bring us more on that, I know,
And I will.
throughout the entire tournament. Great stuff. Fantastic. Kervan Gorgeous with all the sport.